That's right. This is my town. My town. What is wrong with you? Is there something broken over there?
He's trying to break it.
I'm trying to break it, but it's not working out.
Well, here.
So I'm going to have to hold it. It's all good.
No. Here. It's very simple. First of all, you're just going to talk. We're just going to have dead air.
It was a little bit. It was feeling a little bit cantankerous yesterday.
It was, but I fixed it yesterday.
Well, and I've gone and broke it for you, so we're good here.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
The city has a large checking account.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I'm sure there'll be some. Speaking of large checking accounts, the city owes me for a sign. Hello, Mayor. Help me out with that.
Well, you had a chance to talk to him last week. Did you
I
get
did.
the address?
I certainly did mention it to
Okay.
him. But I haven't seen anything yet. I'd like to get a little love going back the other way. You know what I'm talking about there? And it was great to have Mayor Ariola on, and he's going to be a regular Monday guest. So that should make you just a little nervous.
It just Well, for those of you who missed it, the recording went live on our YouTube and Facebook yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. And thank you very much for doing that. Now, look, you don't have to wag your old equipment in here anymore because there's 14 cameras staring at you right now, and I'm pointing at one. Hi, Mom. I shouldn't never point at people. That's rude.
Well, when you're pointing at someone, there's 3 fingers pointing back at yourself. So
is that how it works?
That's how it works, yeah.
You're probably the guy that does the one-finger wave out the window on Mopac. Yeah, and I do that. But you got to have a steering wheel attached to that, and you do that.
I'm more of a 2-finger guy. I don't know why. I've always been the 2 fingers.
If your name wasn't Seguin, we would be concerned about you, my friend. We're here, all kidding aside now. Daniel Seguin, the communications director for the city of Taylor, and he's brought the CEO of baseball, softball, apple pie, and Chevrolet Parks and Recreation Department over here to visit with us today.
Yes, I brought Tyler Bybee. He's our Parks and Rec director. And
is that how you say his last name, Bybee?
Bybee.
Oh, that's not what I've been calling you.
BB?
No.
Oh, something else.
Where is that S-O? BB. I wanted to come on, ladies and gentlemen, and talk with us weekly to talk about and because summer's coming up, and we got to have things for kids to do. And I know you're going to fill that niche for us. And then I got an idea for you that we'll talk about live on the air too.
Summer's here tomorrow.
Today, buddy.
Oh, today.
104 today.
Yeah.
104.
So
104. It's work in shorts day. If you work outside, hydrate. Remember, hydrate today, folks. Do not start drinking water now. Don't let it get to the point of you're thirsty because it's too late.
Indeed.
There you go. I just hijacked your interview. Go ahead.
No. You didn't hijack anything. I'm just thinking about how I could figure out to get me some dress shorts because it's a little yuppie looking, but it's hot, man.
You know who can help
and my
you with
office
that?
Is hot.
I'm going to tell you how to fix that.
How do I
Go
fix
to
that?
GT Distributors.
GT
Distributors, your public safety professionals, because every police in the summer, I'll get to wear the shorty shorts.
It's true.
Much like Reno 911, if you've ever seen that.
I thought you were going to highlight our local 74 man store.
Well, but they have cargo pants that are professionals and police officers.
I see. Sure.
And that's a free plug from one of my sponsors.
Yes.
And one of my ad clients too for the ad agency. So, but that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wanted to bring Tyler on. I appreciate you coming, Tyler. We just completed a new feasibility study. Is that right?
We did. Just a little thing on the summer. The splash pads are on today. So people out there, both splash pads.
Where are they?
Heritage Square.
Okay.
Right downtown.
Jay, I know what we're doing after we get off.
Frolic in the splash
We're going to
pad.
frolic in the splash pad.
Well, now, we have some public indecency laws here in Taylor, so be very careful about what
Have
kind of
you
frosting
seen
you're
my
doing.
legs?
I don't want to.
No.
Jay.
Okay, that's
Steve,
rude.
Steve, Jay, both of you.
And the other one's in
That might
Fannie Robinson
preclude
Park.
me being in a swimsuit at all.
This is going to go downhill quick today, isn't it?
It is. Talking about the feasibility study, so Daniel's mentioning the wellness recreation feasibility study. We've been working on that for probably 8 months, and we're wrapping up the final report. Last council meeting, the consultant gave their final recommendations to council. I want to thank the public. There was 3 public meetings and a large survey that was done, one random survey and then an online survey. So, as we always like to do, we got lots and lots of community feedback, and the resounding answer is that the public would be interested in a project like this. The need has been there. I was reading through the 2004 Parks Master Plan, and that was one of the number one items, and then that need for that kind of facility has just grown from there. So here we are in 2025, and that need is even more.
Well, let me ask you this. Does it include aquatics?
It does include aquatics. We are actually rebuilding our swimming pool outdoor right now, but they did plan indoor aquatics.
Okay, so and just Taylor ISD, are you familiar with, do they have an aquatics team?
They don't as of right now, but
they could add?
We did, as part of the study, meet with ISD as one of the focus groups, and they did show interest in, at some point, being a partner with that. We don't know when that is or when that need would be.
Right.
And that kind of facility was planned like phase 2.
Okay.
So they planned a building that we could grow into. Like Georgetown now is on their 3rd addition to the rec center. So we wanted to plan something that we could start with a smaller phase and then work our way up.
Didn't Georgetown partner with the Y on that new one?
Not the new one. They're adding on to their existing facility, and the Y is building a new facility out by Sun City.
Okay.
Yeah, so separate.
Okay. This facility, we don't know what it looks like yet. We just know there's a feasibility study done. Is that going to be publicly rolled out soon?
It will, yeah. We actually currently have all of the presentations that have been done on our website under Parks and Recreation, and you'll see our Parks projects.
Will you send me the link to that so we can post it on our website for you to get a little part of that 200,000 people that go look at our stuff?
Absolutely.
Glad to.
And the last public meeting was kind of the full presentation of the feasibility study, even proposed locations, proposed kind of design and layout of the building, possible design and layout of the building. One of the things that the consultants, they do a lot of these studies about rec centers, and one of the biggest takeaways that they had was, one, the amount of community support there was for a facility, but two, most of the time communities have aquatics as one of the top 5 things.
Sure.
Right.
Here
in Taylor, it was 3 of the top 5 things were aquatics related, which is huge.
Well, you would think so, because there is a big aquatic group in this region. A lot of swim teams.
There are.
Both public, school, and private, individual. It's really gained popularity.
Well, and the heat of the summer, folks want to get out of the heat. They want to play in some water. It's just what we like to do in Texas. And so,
well, and no offense to the folks down the road that built the casino-like water park, it's expensive. And what the city does is makes it affordable. The things that you do, like the splash pads you opened today. How much it costs to get into the splash pad?
It's free, 50
Absolutely. Free. Completely free. Go out and enjoy yourself, which is, that's a city service, and that's all goes back to quality of life issues that you and I have talked about. The growth that's coming, we need to be prepared for it. People will look for that kind of, center to host things.
They will, and what's great about city-run facilities is that, especially like our splash pads, unlike something you might play at in your backyard, put on a sprinkler, our splash pads are reusing that water. They're cleaning it and reutilizing it, so it's better for water conservation. And so,
have you been to Schlitterbahn or any of those water parks before?
I have.
Do you ever think about when you're in there splashing around and the little group of kids right next to you?
No, I
what's
try not
going
to.
on?
I've cleaned filters and pools, and don't think about what's in there.
No, it's not. It's not a Baby Ruth from Caddyshack. Is what we're trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, and all that. Well, good. Now another. When will all this go to the voters? Do we have an idea yet on that?
We're uncertain right now. The recommendation was to do a possible May election.
But we don't know the uncertainty of May now, right?
This all was last week, so we haven't been able to kind of get our game plan on what that would look like. But
that, and we require, really the next step is for council to call for an election,
right.
Sure,
to identify how much funds they want to set aside for this kind of project.
Right.
The estimate was around what, Tyler, 55
million.
55
phase
million.
1.
Well, nothing's cheap to build. Any public-private partnerships are between you and the school district and all that been talked about?
There are, and we did all those focus groups. There was a lot of people that were interested in helping with the facility, whether that's capital funding or operations funding. So those things still need to be vetted out.
Well,
and like I mentioned, aquatics were the top items, and those are the most expensive things that you can put into a facility, especially indoors.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's really the biggest driver of cost, wouldn't you say, Tyler?
It truly is, and Daniel knows this because as he was coming on, we were talking about the outdoor pool. There was a lot of conversation about the outdoor pool, and it was on people's minds. So that survey went out right after that. So maybe aquatics was on their mind at that point, or maybe they just truly want it. But it was really heavy in aquatics. So I'm not shocked about that.
Look, there's so many things that you could do with aquatics. There's partnerships that have been done before with a hospital for aquatic therapy. Right. There's aerobics for seniors that are water based. There's just all kinds of things to use a pool, just other than just going around and splashing around. There's a lot of therapeutic things.
And that's where the wellness element comes into play.
Right.
We're calling it the Wellness and Recreation Center's feasibility study because there is going to be a heavy focus on wellness, on those classes, on rehabilitation, and on water aerobics and other healthy living type things.
That was intentional to call it that, and it's a true hub. So most of us know that Taylor has health equity issues. There's a large percentage of our population that can't get a healthy meal or even know what a healthy meal is sometimes.
Right. We talked about that with our folks over.
Needing to educate, and I think this building could be the key to that and fixing a lot of those issues. I sit in a lot of meetings, and we too. And it kind of started, we had a St. David's Foundation board meeting, and I was sitting around with all the different health agencies from the county, and what are we missing? And we don't have a place. We don't have a place. I kept hearing that was about 2 years ago that we talked about that, and you still don't have a place for those resources.
And even if Steve, we went for an election, even in November or next year, we wouldn't still have a facility for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It takes a long time to build something like this.
Well, and have you got a place kind of earmarked for it where you're thinking about putting it yet, or is it still under consideration?
Still under consideration. The consulting group looked at city land we currently own, and those 2 parcels that fit, and that was the regional park out by the expo and the Murphy Park in the center of town. They did concepts on Murphy Park because they kept hearing in our meetings and surveys that people want it central.
Sure.
And you can't get more central than Murphy Park.
Well, in the expo center area out there with that Williamson County, there's a lot of plans for that area there. They're out of land for what they want to do already. So,
And we don't have a master plan for the regional park. That's something we're wanting to do at the end of this year is a
good
full,
for you.
Yeah, open space master plan.
Good for you.
And where are our next parks? So that was something the consultants and staff talked about was maybe it's in a park that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, maybe we take Circleville General Store, and we move it.
Have my office next door. I'd eat every day. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And then we could go work it off.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Center. Yeah.
The one thing about working downtown like we do is you can go eat, and then you can walk around the block a time or two and kind of walk some of that off. Otherwise, you're comatose in your office all afternoon. You got barbecue on one corner, and you got Hutto Cafe, $2.90 down the street, and the Texan and a lot of places. Get you a
slice of pie.
Quit it! Absolutely. Now look, I want to talk about summer programming.
Okay.
You. When does it start? When is registration? What do we have?
We don't have full summer camps that we would think of, traditional summer camps. We do a lot of free things for the public. Play days in the parks. Those will start in June. So pretty much every day we have something going on, whether it's a play day at Murphy Park where we meet at the pavilion and have games and things for kids. We won't have the swimming pool this summer, so we're doing a lot more programming at the splash pads. So we'll be doing days where we meet at the splash pad. We'll bring games and treats for kids. And then our big one that we do is in partnership with Taylor ISD. And John Matthews has been doing this program for over 20 years. It was called Midnight Basketball for a long time.
Yeah.
And we partnered with him a couple years ago when we had our first ever rec coordinator. We've only had recreation staff on city staff since 2023, so it's all fairly new. Partnered with him and grew that program into summer in the park, not just basketball.
Good.
So different nonprofits, businesses will sponsor the food for that event. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays starting June 10th in Robinson Park. So you can come down and get a meal and play sports and games and different things. And then the splash pad's there. So that's probably our largest event. So every Tuesday and Thursday night, we have some sport play days, dates in June, where we partnered with Taylor Tennis Association, the youth football group, and others and the cheer group to do a focused, basically a free camp for kids. So those dates come throughout June as well.
I talk to a lot of people throughout the week, and you know what the number one thing they tell me they want to see in Taylor, Texas? Pickleball.
We've got it.
Well, they don't know about it apparently, because I said, I don't know. I mean, first of all, how do you whack a pickle to start with?
Yeah.
You know?
We've got some of the nicest courts around. We just built 3 new ones.
Where
Where
are they?
I've talked to folks too that come from, like, literally, I've talked to folks that here in Taylor who have come from Austin, from Cedar Park, from Georgetown, and play pickleball in Taylor.
Where?
Yeah. Murphy Park.
Murphy Park has pickleball. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that keep asking me, Murphy Park is the pickleball purveyor right here in Taylor. So
how many courts do we have?
How many
6
courts?
6.
6 courts.
We had 3. There's 8 tennis courts there, so it's part of the tennis complex.
Maybe that's
right
why
there
they
when you
just
come
didn't
in,
see it or something.
Right, and then we had 3 courts, and then we added 3 brand new lit courts.
Yeah.
Fitted in on top of where the old tennis courts were. So really nice complex there.
Hey, Daniel, let me before I forget it, because I'm old. Didn't we do our first block walk last weekend? Did y'all do your?
No,
or is
that's
that
actually
coming
this,
up?
that's this coming Saturday.
Okay, it's this Saturday. Are you involved in that, kind sir?
I am not this one. I have my last T-ball game. I'm coaching.
Okay, good for you.
For my 4-year-old.
What's the score? What's the team's stats? Everybody
his batting
wins.
average is well over 500.
Oh, well, there you go. For those of you,
He's
don't
going
know.
to the pros.
Well,
Pro
Jay
T-ball.
is looking for a pickup game of T-ball. If anybody knows they need an extra player, I think Jay wants to give it one last go.
I actually did play T-ball here in Taylor back.
Oh, sure
years
enough.
ago.
Back about a week ago, he said.
At the same field, you probably
Yeah, same.
and they probably look pretty similar.
but
Though
they-
we've done a lot of work in the local league has as well.
Parks and Rec department, I know, is small but growing.
Small but growing. Yeah, I've been here 4 years. When I got here, I was in the closet in the Public Works building, and now we've moved on up. We're over at the field house, the old field house at Memorial Field.
Okay.
And so we just redid the track there. Talk about wellness. People worked out on that track before it was redone, and it wasn't smooth, needed help. And now that it's redone, in the last 2 weeks, we've hosted, I think, every track and field day for every school. 3 track and field days, which is great, because that's what we're about.
Do you do anything for seniors walking on that track? Anything special?
We do. A lot of people, what we did when we moved over to the field house, we started fitness classes. So we have a fitness class almost every day, and Senior Fit is probably one of our most popular ones.
Sure.
Tuesdays at 10:30 and Fridays at 11 a.m. At the field house. So those classes just keep seniors moving. The big
I see
boy,
Jay making notes about
Well,
seniors
there's-
attend those senior fit classes over there.
What I'm
quit
thinking,
picking on Jay here.
man, it's
I'm on your side.
Hey, that's my job. Y'all cut
I know, Dan. Golly.
Look, maybe we could take Jay on a tour of all those facilities. Do you know where all this is? I do not.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Memorial Field. We know
Normally
where
he
that
says-
is.
Field, of course.
Yeah.
Normally he says, normally I do not. I do not. So maybe we could get,
I've been to Memorial Field several times.
okay, several times.
Yeah,
Why don't
come
we
if you haven't been in a while, come check it out. The
I'd
track's
love-
redone.
Yeah, we're to go over there. Jay, you did a great job. Let me just stop for a moment. You did a great job on that railroad museum. Did you take those pictures?
Yeah, I
nice
took those
job
on Saturday.
You see, look at Jay.
Well, we should get him out, take pictures of our brand new painted putt.
Well, that
course.
look. Well, hang
If you,
on.
Hold on,
you could
hold
share
on.
about that
Hold
too.
on. Now let me tell you, I got an idea, and that's where I was going to bring this up. we want to host, and Tia and I talked about this already, a celebrity putt tournament. And what it will be is to enter, you have to be selected, and then you have to raise like $500 or something like that to qualify for the tournament. And then we're going to have a tournament of champions at the new Putt facility.
That sounds amazing.
Well, let's say new. It's still the old one.
I know.
Yeah. So,
you guys need to put some new carpet down.
New carpet. We're actually probably moving towards replacing those holes at some point. But the plan is, and we've done a lot of work with electrical and some drainage issues, and then NHS was out the last 2 weeks.
Painting. We saw all that. That's
put
what
a little
made me
lipstick
think
on
about
it.
it. Yeah,
but there's some issues with our soils here. I don't know if you know that. Our soils are
It's
pretty
called
bad.
Blackland Prairie, and it's called black gumbo.
Yes.
And it contracts and
And
shrinks
concrete
with
doesn't do
moisture.
well on it. So those old holes, at some point, we've got 17 holes because one had to be completely ripped out. So it's 17 instead of 18. But playable, safe. And our plan is to take the fence down. We've bought clubs and balls that you can check out in our office. And all those play days I mentioned at the park, we'll have the clubs and balls that people can just go play in it. There won't be a fence. You can just walk up, start raising funds to replace.
Well,
totally.
Okay, maybe that's what the $500 would go toward per player.
Yes.
But could you put new carpet down before the big tournament? Is that a
Possibly. The carpet was a lot better once we power washed it than we thought.
Okay, well, I know there's a few of them that need to be replaced.
I'm going to get out there and play, as part of my civic duty and my job.
It's a hard life you lead. These
Well,
park
you gotta-
people, these park
R&D.
people
They
make
have to
out
test
like
everything.
bandits.
They got to
Gotta test
test
it.
everything.
Team building, get my team out there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, look,
But it's coming. Hopefully, we'll have that fence down before the end of school.
but I
and people
definitely
can
want
start
to
playing
do
it.
that. I want to do that because that would be a hoot. It'd be fun. It'd be another one of those things like Food Dudes or.
Right.
I want to create an event that's kind of a signature thing.
We haven't pushed it out yet, but there is going to be a new nonprofit Friends of the Park group that
That's
will
who
be
we would.
helping.
That's who we would make
been
the money
talking
go
to,
to.
yeah.
we would do Friends of the Park, raise money, $500 per member to raise to qualify to play on the
Right.
day of.
And then we've been talking with some different. There are people that actually design putt courses for a living, and we've been talking to them.
Write that down, Jay, so we don't forget all that.
And
Friends of the Parks, Taylor Friends of the Park. Is it what's it called?
that's it. Taylor Friends of the Park.
Okay.
And I see your salsa over there. I don't think he minds me mentioning it, but Jesse and Sarah is the one that has been leading that.
Well, Trey or Jesse?
Both of them involved,
too.
but Jesse is the one that
Well,
started it.
I think that's wonderful, and we definitely that's what we'll do. When is it going to reopen to the public?
To the public, we're shooting for the end of school, so in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Our biggest thing was getting it safe so people could be in there.
I think
And
we'll do
then-
this September, October when it cools down a little bit.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
November. It's hot. It's hot
do
through October.
Why did
man.
you say that and just giggle? You just
was a
giggle.
funny giggle.
It's a funny giggle.
It's 104 degrees outside today, right?
Yeah, but in October, you never know. It could snow.
Well,
I've
that's
had
fair.
It could. The weather changes. It's Texas.
But we're so excited to have some movement on putt. I know a lot of people played that course when they were young here, and
A lot of memories on
Yeah.
that course. I mean, I talked to people about that this weekend.
we've been doing a lot of cleanup there, and the old building is gone, and looks so much better than it did not that long ago.
Bottom line is that Taylor, Texas, just like Rockdale or any other town, the Parks and Rec department is the glue that holds things together during the summer months, particularly when there's nothing to do. Because if you don't find things for kids to do, kids tend to get in a little bit of mischief, we like to say where I'm from. You
They
know,
do.
we don't need any mischief. And maybe we could talk, too, about sometime down the road, movies in the park.
We do have, we have that coming.
You do?
Yeah, we have
You need
our
a sponsor for that?
we'd love a sponsor for
Well, I don't know who would write a check. Look at him grin. The moment I said, do you need a sponsor, his mouth went from ear to ear like the Joker. You
that.
know?
We love sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely.
They make it run.
So do you have a series of movies you're
We
already
do.
going
We
to
have
show?
3. Yeah, we have 3 that are going throughout the summer. Our first one, and I can get you all the details.
Well, you
on
should.
that.
We ought to get it out to the masses.
Our first one is May 30th. It's our summer kickoff in Heritage Square.
What's the name of the movie?
We're showing Wild Robot. I don't know if you've seen that.
Sure.
one.
That's a great one. Kids movie.
May 30th at Heritage Square. It's our summer kickoff.
I've
And then
talked to the Howard Theater folks. As a matter of fact, I put the Howard Theater folks in touch with a very dear friend of mine in the theater industry, Mark Shulman. Shulman Theaters started in New Orleans, Bryan College Station. They're the oldest continuing showing exhibitor family, privately owned, in North America.
Wow.
Yeah, so they've been in a long time. So because I want to do some things at the theater, some kids' food shows, some food drives to see a movie, maybe an old Western, black and white series, that kind of
great.
thing. So let us know about all the stuff you got going on. That's why you got to come on the show
I need
regular.
an hour, I guess.
You need not hour. You need your own 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
15
5.
minutes, right?
Yeah.
So remind us again about walking.
Taylor on Foot. It's going to be this coming Saturday, May 17th from 10 to noon. And it's going to be your city leaders, your community leaders, your school district, your nonprofit organizations who are going to be coming out. We're going to be knocking on doors, talking to folks, trying to understand needs, wants, frustrations, and following up on those within the 30 days after. So our first walk is going to be in District 3. That's
Okay.
Councilman Samaric's district.
Okay.
So we're really excited about that. We're targeting about 50 homes every quarter.
Do you happen to go on social media and do you happen to look at Taylor Needs to Know, that thing?
I actually have, I think it's 20 or 22 pages on my tagged list that I go through almost every day and
Smart
look
man.
through everyone's
Well,
comments.
there was one, and I read the post yesterday about how to get a pothole filled. You might want to go look at that. It's not what you think. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's an uh-oh. You might want to go look at that.
Are you talking about the one where they do something goofy with the pothole itself?
No.
To make it look inappropriate
No, they-
and then cause the city to come fill
Yes.
it? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They make an inappropriate drawing that we all used to make if you were a boy in 6th grade. You would draw in your
In
notebook.
or the walls
Yeah.
of the stalls
Yes.
in the
Oh,
bathroom.
yeah.
Yeah.
We still
Yeah.
see those in the
Yes. Well, I'm just telling you that. So you've seen it.
I did. I saw it.
I thought of you immediately
The
going,
favorite ones I've seen about potholes is where they'll paint smiley faces over them or do some like public art, right? They also tend to get them filled a little
I'm going to
faster.
tell you a
than
short story about my daddy, and then we're going to get out of here, right? My dad ran for mayor of our hometown, and he didn't win, okay? But what he did do, he came in like 3rd out of 8, so it wasn't bad. But my daddy didn't graduate high school. He left in 4th grade, I think, to go to work, and he was very successful, very entrepreneurial. But Dad ran for the truck drivers, and his biggest, everybody's got an issue. Well, his was potholes because of all the truck drivers were tearing up their trucks in these potholes. So Daddy hired a little boy to go out with a cane pole and a cork and fish in a pothole. Okay, and the newspaper came out and took the picture of the kid fishing with a cane pole and a cork in the pothole, and it made a big splash. It didn't help him win, but it made for a heck of a great story
That is a good
by
story.
me.
Were
down
you the little
road.
kid
I was
fishing in the
not.
pothole?
No,
Oh,
sir, I
man.
was not. But wished I could have been around when he did that because that was funny. But listen, we got to get out of here. We got a break. You've been
Thank you,
listening to
Steve.
Hometown Highlights. Wait a minute, Taylor Roundup. That's
Taylor
what we're
Roundup.
calling this,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Taylor Roundup right here on 98.5 KRXT Rockdale. Taylor, the heartbeat of Milam, Lee, and Williamson counties. And Parks and Rec will have their new show starting next week on Fridays about, I don't know, probably 10:15. So look forward to that next week, and we'll see you soon.